Hello everyone and welcome back to Klein Tuin Zoo. As you can see today I am moving out the springbok from the enclosure over here into the gemsbok enclosure. So the reason being is that I want to use this space over here, and I don't know if you guys remember from last episode I had 4 wildebeest, but like I said, they're only temporarily visiting the enclosure. They've moved on to Europe or wherever now. But anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna tear down this enclosure as well as this one over here, because today I want to make space for some llamas, goats and camels, as well as a camel ride station. Back in the early 20th century, a few zoos I've seen had some camel ride stations, as well as some elephant ride stations, but we don't have elephants just yet. When we get the elephants, I'll build the ride station, but for now we have the camels. So yeah, I'm not going to use up this entire space, but next episode I will use up the space I have left. So yeah, springbok, they gotta go, and I'm not sure if I'll keep them in here with the gemsbok, but I might have to do something. I might like change something around here, because this is technically 2 exhibits used up by just 2 sables, so I might just fence this off and create like a guest path somewhere through here so that the guests can actually see the animals in this exhibit. But for now, they can chill there. They both have overlapping natural ranges, so they shouldn't interfere with each other, and this is a pretty big exhibit, so they'll stay out of each other's way. But anyway, well, now I'm gonna start working on our llama, goats and camel exhibit. So yeah, I'll check you in the next progress update. Okay, so I've made some progress. I've created a camel ride station over here. So now this is based on a little structure found in Pretoria Zoo. I'll probably bring up a screen picture right now so you can see it. So this pretty much is just a little staircase to help people hop on top of the camels and such. And I know it's probably, I mean, you can get on a camel straight from the floor. You don't need like a lift or anything, but I imagine this is for children, because back in these days, zoos were very much a children attraction, even more so than now, because I remember I was reading up and I found Johannesburg Zoo actually only started charging adults in the 60s, so it shows in this early 20th century setting, zoos were really meant for kids to come see the animals. And so we just have the staircase to kind of assist the children in getting on the camels, and I imagine maybe even the Pretoria Zoo, which I based this on, had horses or ponies that kids could come and sit on there. Funny enough, you can see the structure if you go onto Street View. It's kind of near the elephant enclosure in Pretoria Zoo. But if you go IRL, the stairs were taken down. Everything else is around it is still there. The grounding and the fence is just the stairs they took down. So I'm not sure. It's weird that they did that, but well. So yeah, we have a gate here for the guests to come through and staff to come through, I guess, and you have these bigger gates on the side here to let the camels through. And we have the fence around it just so in case anyone gets rowdy, they don't run into this place and accidentally get kicked by a camel. And as you can see, we have the gate. This is where the camel exhibit will be. Haven't started that just yet. Well, that'll be done in the next progress update, but you can see the gate where the camels will come out, line them up in here, hop a child on, and then take them for a ride around the zoo. And over here we just have a ticket booth, same ticket booth from the entrance. I tried coming up with my own one, but nothing really works. I was like, why reinvent the wheel? Let's just use what we have. So let's put up a sign saying camel rides or kameelritte, is Afrikaans. Yeah. Oh, and just in case you're curious what pieces I used for this, I used the normal brick wall column, and yeah, I used the painted brick piece. So we have 2 different kind of colors with our bricks here, and these little posts are just one of the new old fence posts. This is just colored wood, and this is the classic fence copper pillar, and there's 2 of them in there. One acts as the base and the other as the main pillar. And also some chains, like yeah, I just have a chain kind of drooping down, so it looks like it's unhinged from there and open for people to go into. Yeah, so while I haven't done much work on the actual exhibits, the llamas, camels, and sheep, or goats, I did do some foliage work. That's actually what most of my time since the last progress update has been spent on. So if we come over here, so when I started building this park, I decided to set it in the province of Eastern Cape, and that way I could pretend that I'm building in a thicket biome, and that way I could get away with having lush, thick, dense foliage like this. And then what do? I decide let's just have a barren field. Yeah, this is, and story-wise I was like, yeah, maybe this was once a wood farm, which is why I have these pines all lined up here. But then I don't remember why. I think I wanted to be an open space for the estate, so I decided, they cut down all the trees and this was all pastures for livestock. So it's kind of boring now. Now it all seems like a grassland, which is not the biome I wanted to be building in. And I guess there's some trees back there. I think I might actually be a little bit cheaty and bring the tree line a little bit forward. That remnants of when this place was a farm, a wood farm. And also maybe, because there are some trees there, maybe dense it up a bit more. Which isn't following the same plan as my put down saplings, but it's fine. That's part of the state we're not working on. But anyway, like I said, I wanted it to be thick and dense. So what I did here is try and bring back some of that dense foliage back into the zoo. So previously we had all these trees already here and just some bushes, but now what I went and did was kind of neatened it up. And so you have like a hedge in the middle, and not the middle, in front here, and we just have a whole bunch of bushes and overgrown stuff in the back. So kind of a bit of order in there. There's like patchiness, like here we have reeds and here we have sage, and there's flowers, a little bit of order, but still a little chaotic, a bit more naturalistic. So yeah, really bringing that thicket feel into the zoo. Kind of out of place right now because it's the only place that's kind of dense like this. And I did a little bit of densification over there by those trees, but I might have to chop some of that down because that's where the camels are going to go, so give them a bit more space. But yeah, I feel like as I build stuff, I'll definitely take the plantings, put plantings in other places we build at, and that should help this fit in. So yeah, there's a little bit of room for improvement, I feel. Not 100% too happy with it, but will do for now. Maybe in the future I'll rip it out and put more better gardens in, or exhibits or such. Or just maybe if I do more foliage around, it'll actually help this fit in better. But for now, that's what it is. And if we come over here, I do have I did cut a path through this exhibit, our zebra and ostrich exhibit here. So, and that's to allow guests, because initially there was a gate here, and now guests can walk through here. Come through this path and walk along there. So now they have another path and can come see this exhibit, which now has the sable in, and I close that gate over there so I can put the springbok in here. Yeah, so they're no longer with the Hebsbok. So yeah, I also have these bushes along the side. I guess these bushes do kinda stop the ostriches from attacking guests, kinda keep guests a little bit further back. But I have seen some vintage pictures where people are right up next to a fence of a grey crowned crane exhibit and there. So you wouldn't have that in modern zoos because cranes, they can be a little bit nippy. They'll come and poke the guest through the fence. This is more of an aesthetic thing because I guess animal guest safety wasn't super important back in the day. I guess it's a valuable lesson if a child gets poked on the head by an ostrich. It shouldn't hurt him. It's not Jumanji or something. And I do have signs up. We bite fingers, or the Afrikaans, ons byt vingers. So you can't say we didn't warn you. There's a few signs up. Yeah, actually, there's one over there, and I believe there's another on that side. And I do also have some name signs. So yes, springbok, or the full-on Afrikaans name, springbok, although most people, including myself sometimes, just say springbok. Just taking an English pronunciation to the Afrikaans one. Yeah, I decided to keep some bushes for here, just give a bit more of a clear viewing. And we have our saplings on the side here. Let's just take a walk down this path. We have a sign for the sable antelope, or the Afrikaans name, Zwartwitpens. And I also added some new sapling types here. I decided to put some of these these pines. So like these pines here, and I decided to plant them in there because I figured this zoo doesn't have much of these, like, I don't know how to describe it, these triangle shaped pines. Because we do have some conifers. These Scots pines, which also kind of works as maritime pines or stone pines, but they aren't like your typical triangular shape. So I decided to plant some cedar trees, some like babies, and some of these other ones over here, so we can get more of them. These like big old triangular shaped trees, because those were also planted. Obviously not indigenous. There are only 2 genuses of indigenous conifers in South Africa, and none of them have those triangle shapes. I think it's yellow woods, and I forgot the other one, but yeah. So we just got a few of these little conifers planted around here, and then a few along here. Yeah, and these bushes along here also kind of help tie in this little heavily dense foliage area here, because the bushes kind of go along there and match up with this whole section. So yeah, definitely going to do a lot more planting to fit this area in. Like over here in the front, I want to do some plants as well, although this probably be a bit more neater than what's back here, which is more naturalistic. And another thing I want to talk about, another type of tree I've been planting here. These aren't supposed to be firs or something, so my thought, these are Australian plants. So either eucalyptus or maybe some of the Australian acacias, black wattles. I'm thinking having eucalyptus and black wattles here. And well, the reason these trees were planted in South Africa, like, there's many reasons why alien trees were planted. Some of them are aesthetic, so kind of like these trees here, which are supposed to be like maybe oak trees or just sycamore trees. Some of them are functional, like pines over here. These are cut down for wood. But then back in the day, people thought it was a smart idea to take some Australian plants and plant them in South Africa, because they thought the Australian plants use a little bit less water than South African trees, and so by planting them here, you'd have more water flowing into your dams and the environment. In reality, it turned out to be the opposite, and the Australian trees used up a bit more water, so yeah, they actually ended up doing more harm than good. But I still, Australian trees are still a very, aesthetic on the landscape, and I kind of wanted to add them in here. Maybe it does kind of contradict as to me planting these conifers and then planting Australian trees to save water. Let's just say maybe the conifers were planted first, and a few months later we planted the Australian trees. Or maybe just planted the Australian trees for aesthetics. Because yeah, eucalyptus trees do look quite nice, even though they are aliens here. And I think eucalyptus you can cut down for wood as well, so they do serve an economic purpose. So I've got some of those plants there, and some of them over here. I do want to plant more around the area, so maybe some back here, and definitely I want to plant them more on this estate, in this region, the other estate. Probably not going to build here anytime soon, but it's just, if they grow up, they'll provide a nice backdrop, and then when we eventually do there, which will probably take a while, it'd be nice to already have a finished like canopy and dense foliage with wattles and eucalyptus. Yeah, so my plan is when they grow up, I'm going to use these custom eucalyptus trees by Mike Sheets. So yeah, by the way, this is just a bunch of plants and templates I've been messing around with, but yeah, these are made using the I believe the diamond leaf willow, and just some of the air plants and the African branches. And I'm hoping eventually that Frontier will give us an Oceania or Australia DLC, because I do like these trees. They like come across as like not old but not young eucalyptus, maybe middle-aged eucalyptus. I'm not sure how to describe it. So like when the eucalyptus has to grow up, we can go on to there. But I'm hoping us Frontier will give us Australian DLC. That way we can get those really tall and like really thick trunked eucalyptus trees, and I can't see them releasing an Australian DLC without eucalyptus, and given Frontier's tendency to supersize things, I'm sure we'll get really big eucalyptus, and then eventually I can have those in the park. So hopefully by the time it comes for me to get big eucalyptus, I can replace these with those. Because I really like I said earlier, I like how those look, even though they're alien. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up these exhibits over here, and then also do some more plantings on the other parts of the estate. Also maybe throw in some trees in this part, because this is also looking a little too barren. Like I do need grassy areas in zoos, so I'm thinking this will be a big grassy area, but I can't put some trees down here, so get some wattle, some eucalyptus, maybe even some of these conifers in. So yeah, I'll go do that, and we'll see you in the next progress update. Okay, and we're back with the final progress update. And before I go on and show you the buildings, you can see some of them over there in the back. Just wanted to mention, this exhibit over here is supposed to be like a, I don't know, spare holding exhibits. Like if any animals are coming through the zoo, like the wildebeest we had last episode, they would stay here, or I don't know, maybe one of the antelope are pregnant, so and we want to separate them from the others, we can keep them in here. Yeah, and just again, before I show you the buildings, I want to show you all the saplings I put down here. So like I said, I want to get this place a lot more lushed up, so I planted a whole bunch of saplings down here. So I think some of them were planted by people, like these were supposed to be Australian plants, or maybe some of them just spread from the nearby forests, like there, and even some from the thicket. Yeah, there's a lot of saplings over here. I might have overdone it, but it's fine. I want this place to get proper lush with lots of big trees in the future. So I don't know, maybe all these saplings sprouted up because we finally put the livestock in there, in the little pens there, so they can't eat the foliage and the trees can finally grow back. That's why they're all there at the same time. Yeah, but anyway, I've spoken about trees for way too much time now. Let's go and check on our animals. So yeah, I have finished up the Camel Exhibit. I showed you this last progress update, the ride station, the little ticket booth. I've added some plantings along here just to fill it up a little bit more. And here we have a pair of male camels. I did make this little camel house over here. Maybe if you're familiar with some old zoo structures, you can see this is based on the London Zoo's old camel house, only I changed the materials it was made out of, give it a bit of a Klein Tuin touch to it, and I didn't add the clock tower. Clock tower would have been a little bit too much, but yeah, we have this little round thing in the front, two little doors for the camels to go into. Unfortunately, the way the game's hitboxes work, the camels can't actually go inside of here. Kind of sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. And I know a smart person, when building this arch, like I made this with it's called the sandstone brick, these individual Indian sandstone bricks you can see here. A smart person just would have used the arch, the sandstone arch. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, one of these ones was it. This one. But you know what, it's fine. I'm fine with this, because now you have this cool little round texture. It adds a bit more, and Initially I was going to use like some of this limestone arch and have some of the limestone showing out, but then I added this thing in the middle and I figured, no, let's make the full wall sandstone, and then I realized, oh, I could have just used this and saved on pieces. But it's fine, it looks better like this, proper nice round arch. Yeah, and I removed some of the bushes in the middle here, because the camels would have trampled that and eaten that, so yeah, have no bushes there, just trees. And we had this feeding trough. This is comes from these like horse and cattle pens I made a while ago. So I decided let's bring them in here. There is an actual water feeding dish in here, and I'm not sure if the animals will drink from it. I haven't actually tested it out, I probably should. So yeah, walk along this way. This is the guest path, and guests will follow. And here we have a nice little view, and there's our llama and goat exhibit. So you can see I have this little shelter for the goats, and this is cool, they're sleeping in it. These goats are mod, by the way. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. They're actually doll sheep in game. As you can see, it's a doll sheep, but the mod replaces the model with a Alpine domestic goat. So I believe this one, the black is the female, yes, and the brown is the male. It just replaces those models with a few goats, and I'm not going to have doll sheep in the zoo, so yeah, have goats. I will leave a link to the Nexus mod page for this in case you want to add this to your little zoo. Really cool how they just use this house. As you can see, I did add some plantings on the side, and over here with the camel exhibit I added this little wooden barrier in because initially I wanted the planting in, and then I realized the camels will probably eat the plants, and same thing on this side, the llamas might eat the plants as well, so add these wooden poles along there to kind of stop them from eating the plants. They might nibble it through the fence, but the majority of the plant should be fine, and I think that's a cool detail. Kind of shows maybe the people that built this didn't think about this either. They put the plantings down and then camels started eating them, so they added the secondary barrier. Adds a bit more, a touch of realism, if you ask me. And so yeah, same thing, only yeah, I added the wire fence to kind of stop the goats from going out. I don't know, maybe the people that built this initially thought they were just getting llamas, but when they bought the llamas, I don't know, they were the 100th customer, so they got a couple of goats for free, so they had to change the exhibit a bit. Yeah, that's the story. They were the 100th customer at the llama shop, and they got 3 free goats. I don't know where's the third one, I'm sure there's 3. Got more of these water troughs here, gates for the staff to come in, and yeah, we have another shelter. Unfortunately, the llamas can't enter this. It's just too small, and it's ridiculous. I wish the game decreased the hitbox size, but yeah, they can barely fit in this thing. Maybe if I change the angle of the shelter, they might be able to fit in. Like with these goats, this ramp only works at this angle. If I rotate this building a little bit to the side, I'm not going to do it now because it'll get boxed up. If I like rotate it like a little bit that way or this way, the goats actually can't climb up the ramp. Actually, let me demonstrate for you. If I do this, then I should go into reversible area. Let's go see. How about that? Okay, now they can't climb up the ramp. Why do you make my points null? Why do you null my point? Yeah, see, wait. Yeah, see there. They can't climb up the ramp, and I just rotated the angle a little bit. And now if I change it back, they can go up just fine. So it's a weird thing. I don't know how this game works sometimes. So the goats can use the shelter, but unfortunately our 2 llamas cannot. And I added this plant in the middle just to get some trees here, and we have the fence around it so the llamas and goats don't destroy it. I've done this with actually a few of the other hoof stock, so our zebras and ostriches over here, trees here, fence around it to stop them from destroying it. Tree pen with the sable, and I believe with the gemsbok as well, yeah. No antelope will destroy them now, the trees. So yeah, and I really like how this plaza kind of turned out. These two buildings act as a nice little kind of an invitation to walk through them. And in case you're wondering how I did these little gables, these are the Asian timber pieces to add these curvy bits here. And this is the classic bollard, doing that there. And this pointy bit at the top is one of the fence posts. That's how I did that, and just added these sandstone bricks on the side as an accent, which I've been doing with a few bowls around there. You can see with the bathroom over there, and I don't think I've done it anywhere else, but I will do it in the future with more buildings. Yeah, let's just walk through here. I have hidden some staff gates in the wall here. You can see a little pad there. In this case, the camel exhibit, I've hidden the staff gate in this wall over here, just so it's easier for the keepers to throw the camels out there, because if they throw the camels out here, well, they're gonna get stuck. And that does mean this little path fencing here, this is one of the invisible barriers, I think. Which one is it? Like this one, this natural path, which has these little wooden railings. So on this side it looks fine, you have the railings there, and then it stops where the gate is. Yeah, it looks a little bit, it doesn't complete, but I kind of like that. It looks like it's broken, not properly maintained. Just a little bit of imperfection here and there makes a building more realistic, if you ask me. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got to show for the camel and the llama and the goat exhibit. Just a little sneak peek, this is what I'm going to be doing next episode. See, start of the construction site, just have some sand moved around here. A little sign telling guests, please bear with our construction. That's what we're going to do next episode. So yeah, thank you. Well, oh wait. I also got to show, with the fence over here, I've moved the little metal piece underneath here. Let's see if I can. As you can see, normally you would have this metal piece there, but if you change the settings to this with flat top and editable bottom, you can drag that piece down underground and you don't have it, and it just looks like this more realistic wire fencing. I need to do it with all the other exhibits, like zebras and ostriches. They still have this metal rim at the bottom. So I'll do that. It makes it look, the fence looks like an actual wire fence. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think I forgot to put signs up here though for the camels and the goats. I put signs for all other animals like zebras and ostriches. Not for these guys. But I'll do that now actually. It'll be done by next episode. So yeah, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. And yeah, bye.